see, let's actually switch this to Palantir. So we got Palantir pushing back up into this order block. This was actually a great, Palantir actually did a really good job at defending these levels here at 169. I'm not actually surprised, but we're in swings right now for next week. I'm gonna just switch this over here to Coinbase. We're in swings for next week on Palantir. This is actually a really good recovery here. So ideally, if Palantir can break back above 170, 150, our trade for next week will be in a really good position before going into FOMC. Now, again, one of the things is you just got to be careful trading in FOMC. Either before, because usually today is really choppy. Like even if we look at the overall market, let's take a look at QQQ. So QQQ, we got a bit of a sell-off. We had gapped up into about 594 over here, which is why you guys had seen this kind of sell-off here. It's because we gapped up, overnight, and we created this gap that was ended up getting filled. Okay, so now price after filled the gap, we're just kind of just hovering around the gap fill. Okay, if you don't know too much about gaps are basically like imbalances on a chart, right? And what I mean by that is like there's open space where either buyers or sellers had no control, and at some point in time those buyers and those sellers will look to go back and fill those open spaces. So I have this indicator called Lux Algo, right? And it marks out the gap for you. So like even if you look at QQQ, when we sold off, when you have one huge candle like this, it created a gap because there's no other candlesticks in between this that buyers were in there, right? Which is creating this gap here. So with QQQ, you got a gap down, right? So we gapped up, filled the gap, now consolidating. If you take a look at SPY, right? Same exact thing. We gapped up to about 662, right? Gapped up to 662, came down and filled the gap, right? And now we're just consolidating around this level. If you were to look at IWM, now IWM had an even better entry. So we called this out in the Discord. I'll show you guys some of the results from the members in the Discord. But IWM on the daily time frame had a double inside day, right? What is a double inside day? That means back-to-back days there were consolidation. And usually when you have something like this where there's a lot of consolidation around one ticker, if it's like a double inside candle, which is a strat setup, whenever you have a double inside day, usually the next candlestick is pretty explosive, which is why you guys seen such a big sell-off here on IWM. So the trigger was 238.55, and then your target was down here at previous month high in this gap, which was at 237.06, which is where price is currently at right now. So this paid the community pretty nicely. I can actually show you guys real quick. If we come over here and let's go ahead and leave the free chat. So if we come over here and we look at this, these are some of the members who took the trade. Just got me a little bit of IWM. He's paper trading. This person's paper trading, but this is a real trade. So 31% IWM. This person made 41% on IWM, and then my guy Sully ended up making around $1,100 on IWM. So usually, like with certain setups, you can, depending on how you trade, you can size up a little bit more. But double inside days are like really high probability trades that I like as well. So three bars, failed twos, and double inside days. Lux Algo is the creator, right? What's the name of the indicator? It's Lux Algo is the name of the indicator. You gotta use you gotta go to Google and look up Lux Algo. And then when you go to Lux Algo or luxalgo.com, you gotta pay for the subscription. So I'm not endorsed by them or anything like that. But that's just the platform that I use. So this is where IWM came from here. That double inside day, and then you just had a strong continuation downward. Which is coming down to fill this gap. So this ended up playing out pretty nicely as well. Palantir, it's not looking bad at all. Coinbase kind of sold off as well. Okay, cool. Yo, TikTok, can you guys hear me? Do you recommend paper trading? I'm saving up so I can start trading with a good amount. Yeah, you could definitely start off with paper trading. The one thing I'll tell you is like when you are paper trading, it won't give you the real live emotions when it comes to trading with money, right? Like, or you won't have the same level of trading as trading with money, right? Like the emotions won't really be there because it's not like you're actually risking your own money. So what I would do if I were you is like I would definitely try out paper trading for a while, just to kind of get the hang of buying and selling, calls and puts, you know, stop losses, trailing stop losses, things like that. Just play around with stuff. That's what I recommend if people are going to paper trade. But yeah, I would say definitely try paper trading. You could paper trade on Webull. Webull is what me and my community use most of all. If we are to paper trade, like majority of the members who are brand new to trading, I'll have them go to Webull first. So, yo, Nisha, thank you for the gifted. Have you taken a trade yet? Yeah, we closed out on Coinbase. It was a swing trade that we took on Monday. It was a base hit today, so we ended up closing out at about 33%. Wasn't a really crazy move. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, but I mean, before FOMC, I couldn't really expect a crazy, insane move. So couldn't really do much about it. How much is the Discord a month? My Discord is currently closed, so right now I'm just kind of giving out free game for the majority of people who are here. Do you call out plays on the free WAP group? Sometimes I'll do like 1 to 2 a week in the free WAP. How did you learn to read those charts so easily? A lot of hours, I ain't gonna lie. I had to put a lot of hours in. I bought some courses. And plus I've been doing this for a while too. Like Strat, trading the Strat with the numbers and things like that. That I started that in like December. I started learning the Strat in December. So I mean that's what, 9 months. 9 months of just trading the Strat. Prior to that, I was doing supply and demand. And then prior to supply and demand, I was doing support and resistance. So I was already doing this stuff for a period of time. But the Strat has just given me a more enhanced way of looking at the market overall. If you don't trade the Strat, I definitely recommend checking it out for sure. When do you open spots for your Discord? I'll be opening spots at my free live workshop on Sunday, this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. This Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will open up spots to my Discord. Which indicator are you using? Which indicator are you talking about? This Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I will open up. All right. I actually fixed it too. Okay, perfect. Now, if you are here and you have not registered for the live workshop, what's the ticket? I don't have a price right now. But if you guys do want to come to the live workshop, if you have a few $1,000s liquid, or you have a active 9 to 5 right now, and or you're just trading and you've been struggling, this is ideally for struggling traders, honestly, or people who have a little bit more capital and they just ready to like really get into the market with a better understanding of the market. What I would recommend is coming to the live workshop on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a private Zoom call with about 1,000 people. And what you can do to register, it's a free reservation to get your seat. You can click this yellow button right here. It says Service Plus. I just fixed it. So my last live, I couldn't, for some reason it wasn't working, but I think I just fixed it right now. So right here, there's this yellow button. You click that, it'll pull up an application page. All you gotta do is put your information in, and then from there, it'll take you to the next page, okay? And real quick, I want somebody to try it out and let me know if it works. So you're gonna basically click this yellow button right here on TikTok, okay? It'll say Service Plus. You click it, put your information in, right? Then on the next page, it'll take you to a button, and then you register through there. Let me know if it works for you. Okay, yeah, I see him working now. Okay, cool. Glad I got it fixed. How tall are you? I'm 5'10". 5'10". Where's the button for YouTube Live? I keep forgetting about my people on YouTube. My apologies, guys. YouTube doesn't have the same thing as TikTok, so I have to just type the link for you guys. So there's the link for everyone in YouTube. I just dropped it in the chat for you guys. Yep, there you go. Okay. Yo, Ian, thank you for the sub. Chris, thank you for the sub. Rex, thank you for the sub. Bunny, thank you for the sub. YS, thank you for the sub. Germ, Pooh, Carmen, thank you guys for the subs. Cool. I'm all caught up on subs. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you guys hit the sub up button. Will you trade in Webull for the challenge? Yes. I think I'm gonna start the challenge in Yo, Universal, thank you for the gifted, yo. Greatly appreciate you, bro. I'm trying to see, so I gotta figure it out. I'm doing a $1,000 account challenge, and I'm gonna take all the trades live on streams. Um, I think majority of the trades I'm gonna take are gonna be swing trades though, because I think that for the most part, I want to give myself a little bit of time on the contracts and to be able to maximize the trades as opposed to just being super risky. I know people would like the riskiness and stuff, but I don't know. I think to efficiently grow an account, like I have to grow the account in a way where I would actually grow a $1,000 account, and that would be through a little bit, like maybe not so many weekly trades, but you know, maybe next week's trade, next week contracts, or following week. Just giving it a little bit more time. Can you point out where the yellow button is right here. It's right here. It's a yellow button. You click it, you'll be able to reserve a free seat to the live trading workshop. All right, so Tesla, we have this range that we kind of just been stuck in between 421.50 to about 411.65. If we look back here to the left, you got this order block right here as well. So I wouldn't even want to take calls into this, honestly. I'm not trading anything today. I'm just looking at things and scenarios for tomorrow. Are we going to blast tomorrow for FOMC? Honestly, man, here's my analysis on FOMC, right? I personally think that the move has already happened, right? Like, I think it's already priced in. And one of the Fed chair members were speaking, Bennett, he was talking about this earlier, where let's say, you know, we get like, if you go look at majority of everything that we've been watching over the last week, I mean, we've just been consistently pushing and pushing and pushing outside of today's like slight pullback. We have just been consistently pushing higher. So I think it's already priced in. I think tomorrow we'll hear Powell speaking, and I think we'll see a sell-off in the market. I mean, the market is on just rocket boosters right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's going to be a retracement coming soon. So for me, like, I'm looking at, I am personally looking at swinging puts over the next like 6 months, honestly. Because right now, you're never going to be able to time the top, same way you're not going to be able to time the bottom. But like right now, it just seems like, I don't know, man, like unemployment numbers, inflation, cutting rates at all-time highs have never been a good thing. I just think there's too many things aligning, you know what I'm saying? And like, this was the same reason that like I was in a scenario like this thinking a few years ago, right? Before I went like all in on like Bitcoin and stuff. And it was the same exact process of thinking. Now that I think about it, it was just a series of things that just aligned in a manner where I couldn't look past it. Does that make sense? I just couldn't look past it. So it's like, I don't think the entire market is going to sell off. I do think that we'll see some retracements. And I heard my guy Ian say something too. Shout out to Master Investor. They're gonna like adjust how people view a recession, right? There will be a recession in certain sectors, which I agree. I do think there will be a recession in certain sectors, but tech is just so strong right now. I think the more we start seeing these job cuts though, I think that's when the market will get really tested, to be honest. Just because we haven't had a September pool yet, you're right. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. And September is usually the worst month of the year when it comes to trading. So it's kind of like we haven't even seen that. The last 5 months have just been straight up, like we've just been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. So yeah. Have you looked into stocks that make because of the current event? No, I haven't. I only buy, like, I personally only look at companies that I truly believe in. Like, I don't just put my money anywhere. Yo, we have 581 likes on TikTok. Come on, y'all. Spam the like button. Get us to, let's say 15K. I got to be able to go into my meeting with TikTok and tell them that my lives are consistent. So I'm not at 15K likes yet. I just need y'all to keep spamming it. I got a meeting with my rep today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Makes perfect sense. Thanks for the analysis. No problem. Yeah, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So we actually have Tesla coming up on 421 here. The target on this, I wouldn't even take this week's contracts unless you're being risky. So if you are looking to trade something, TikTok has reps. Yeah, so they actually, I'm in the top 5 to 7 percentile of live streamers on TikTok. So if you guys didn't know, TikTok is starting to they're trying to push more TikTok lives. So like I've been having them reach out to me directly, wondering, like, getting insights from me on what works during these lives, what doesn't work, how I'm able to get people to watch my live so long. So I'm in like this percentile between like 5 to 7% of the top streamers on TikTok, based off my view time. So this is crazy. 60% of the people who come into my lives, they stay for at least an hour. That's crazy. 60% of people. So like let's say like my last live, I had around 4,000 total viewers. It was around like nah, that's not right. I can't remember exactly how many it was. I think that day it was like 10% of people actually stayed for an hour. Just 400 people watched the live for an hour. And they were asking me like, how am I getting people to stick? And I'm like, I'm just talking about something that I'm pretty sure everybody likes, you know what I mean? Or if they don't like it yet, they're gonna learn to love it with the way that I teach it. So TikTok has reps. Yeah, no, so TikTok is also, there's gonna be a deal where Trump said he's gonna announce who the buyer of TikTok is. So I think we'll hear that either later today or tomorrow. It would be crazy to hear it tomorrow, but it's Trump. What can you expect? I think it's because you're engaging and you seem authentic, which is rare in the live trading world. Yo, thank you. I appreciate that. Yo, KJ, thank you for all the shares, bro. Yeah, I also think that when people are on TikTok, I think sometimes you just keep scrolling and you just keep getting entertained. And I think at some point, most people just say, yo, I want to just take time to learn something. And I think that when you come into a live like this where there's charts, the quality of the live is pretty clean. I know what I'm talking about because I've been doing this for years. I show a lot of results as well, so you guys can, obviously see everything that I'm saying is working. I think there's just these things that people actually like. So, and I might just have a good personality. I might resonate with a lot of people in here. I don't know if I do. Y'all can let me know down below in the chat, but I think I might just resonate with some of y'all too, like, to be honest. Zero reason to cut, but what does this administration actually know? I agree. I ain't gonna lie, Christian. There's really not, I mean, the only problem is the numbers for the jobs keep getting revised. So it's like, what do you do in that scenario when they're constantly adjusting the environment in which you make decisions off of? It kind of makes things difficult to like even navigate it or to even know if it really is a reason to cut. This is the reason why I'm back on TikTok. Last time I was here, there were plenty of gems being said. Yo, thank you, Byron. Glad to have you back, brother. Hey man, how are you doing? Helena, how you doing? I'm doing good. The authenticity and genuine content you provide is fire. Thank you, KJ. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we have our YouTube team. This is something else for you guys. So I have a YouTube team that is going to be editing. We're going to be putting out a lot more YouTube content on trading. So it's going to be like a lot of beginner stuff. And again, I hope that my free stuff is better than most people's paid stuff. That is my pursuit. That is my goal. And that way, if you end up ever paying anything from me, right now I don't have anything to sell you, but if you ever spend money with me, you'll obviously know that the paid stuff is the real fucking deal. If my free stuff is better than other people's paid stuff. So that's the goal. Do you stream daily? Not every day. Not every day. I've been streaming more often though. I probably stream about 3 to 4 times a week. So when will this be dropping? So I have to record with the team tomorrow. We're recording 5 YouTube videos tomorrow. Super high depth, super high quality. So I think you guys will like it a lot. And then we'll do 1 post a week. And then short form videos, you guys are gonna see a lot more short form videos from me. Are you new on Twitch? Yeah, I'm kind of new on Twitch. What's your YouTube channel? Because I want to learn. It's just my first and last name. What's up, Crystal? What's your question? Yo, Shu, thank you for the roses. Greatly appreciate you. Let me see something. I want to see where Oracle is at right now. I'm going to switch out Palantir. So Oracle is currently defending this pre-market low. So when you guys see stuff like this, these wicks here, wick, we got wick one, long wicks to the downside. This is price rejecting these levels here. So although they have a gap, although Oracle has a gap at 303, with their news of keeping the computing agreement for TikTok, I think it just has a lot of momentum right now. I don't think we'll see that unless we have a negative reaction to FOMC tomorrow. Do you play any games on your stream? No, not really. Just trade. What's your YouTube channel? It's Dantes Akram. Hey, bro, you still do clothing? Nah, I don't do clothing anymore. As a beginner, where do you recommend paper trading? There's so much info about how to begin. I would recommend starting on Webull. Nice, thank you. I appreciate you, Helena. Appreciate you for being here. I like Webull, honestly. I think it's the simplest. Are you live trading right now or just teaching? I already closed out green for the day. We took a base hit on Coinbase. So let's actually, let me go over this trade with you guys. Let me go over this trade with you. Sup, my guy? That stock update looks crazy. One love from the Marshall Island. Yo, thank you, bro. Appreciate you joining in. All right, let's take a look at this. What was I just? Damn, what ticket did I just say, y'all? Oh, Coinbase. Okay, so let's take a look at this trade here. So we got to go back to Monday. Is this Monday? No, this is Friday. Tripping. Okay, Monday right here. Okay. So I got in Coinbase. Okay. What's the indicator? Which one? Okay, so let's go over this trade that I took on Monday, and then we closed it out today. Did I take it Monday? Yeah, I did take it Monday. So I took this trade yesterday. Damn, wait, I think I took it Friday. No, I definitely took it Friday. Okay, I took it Friday. My entry was on Friday. Yesterday it was consolidating. It was in red yesterday, and then we came back because of this gap up. Okay, so let's go over this trade, okay? So first off, I'm gonna go up to a higher time frame. Let's go up to a higher time frame here. So where did this trade idea come from? Okay, where did this trade idea come from? So we ended up taking Coinbase. I sent this out to my Discord group on Friday, and the reason that I sent this out is because I seen that we had broke above this inside day. Right, so this day on Thursday, we consolidated on Coinbase. And on top of that, we were starting to see a bit of a push up from Bitcoin. So if you didn't know, I use, if I'm trading something like a Coinbase, a Mara, like any crypto related stocks, I'll use the main cryptos like Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? As kind of like a compass in a sense, right? Or a guideline. So as I was starting to see Bitcoin push up, right? And I know a lot about Riot, exactly. Shout out to Jay. As I started to see Bitcoin push up, I'm like, okay, I want to see if I can take a trade on Coinbase and maybe look for a continuation on Coinbase to run, right? So on Friday, I looked at the chart and I'm like, okay, perfect. We have an inside day on Friday. So we had consolidation. Basically, this candlestick was stuck in the day before's price action. So we didn't break above. So the next day I'm looking for a break above. Now, here's where I got caught. I actually was down this trade on the first day. When this trade ends up triggering, right, it pops off for a little bit. I'm in green now, right? So, but I got $340 calls for this week, right? So this is Friday. So as it popped off, let's actually just go down to a lower time frame to actually show you guys. Let's see here. Okay. So this was the inside day on Thursday, Friday, right? So the trade ends up triggering, right? And then immediately sells off. Like now I'm like completely in the red, right? I think at the most I was down about 27%, but I had time on the contract. I had a little bit of time. So the contracts expired this week. So I'm like, okay, I got time on the contracts. Right now I'm down about 27% going into the weekend. I'm like, okay, cool. It is what it is. Bet. So the weekend comes, right? We had this slight gap up a little bit, but I'm still in the red. So this little gap up move here, like when the market opens up here, I think I was at break even, right? So now on the trade, I went from being down 27% to this pop from 324 to about 327. I'm break even now. But we started to retrace, and I'm like, oh my God, like I think because of FOMC, I might not get the move that I was anticipating. And I think I had a bit of I think I timed the entry a little off, right? Because I was looking at the 4-hour when I initially took the entry, but I think I should have bought more time, right? So this trade pulls back. We come back up at the end of yesterday. I think I'm down about 10% before going into the day. Then today, right? Let's go over to the 30-minute. Today we gap up on the news that Google and Coinbase signed a partnership for Google to offer crypto payments for Google, or for Coinbase to offer crypto payments for Google, which was a huge partnership, right? So we seen a massive gap up. I mean, from yesterday, we closed at about 326. During pre-market, we got to a high of 335. When the market opened, we were at 332. So at this point, I went from being down about 10%. The day before that, I was down about 27% to now being up about 30%. Once we got this little pop here, I took my profits because I'm like, I don't even want to mess around going into FOMC. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take profits. I took a small base hit, 33%, and then we ended up selling off. So this was the trade. And at the end of the day, it's like you got to be able to sit through. You got to be able to sit through the drawdown. So it's like, if anything, I didn't get stopped out of this trade, right? As long as I didn't get stopped out of the trade, I was fine, right? Me being down 25%, 30%, 40%, if I didn't get stopped out at 50%, it is what it is, right? And it just so happened to come back. And that news ended up taking the trade from being down to being up. So that was the trade that we ended up taking. And that's why I'm not taking anything else today. I don't have a reason to take anything else today. I'll be seeing the trolls, y'all. It's okay. I appreciate y'all so much. Jaleel, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah. I be seeing the trolls in the chat, man. I've learned to be able to just completely disregard it. Cause there's never a person who's doing better than me who's ever said anything crazy or talked down on me. There's never a person. Ever. So what pair is that? Right now we're looking at stocks. This is we were looking at Coinbase. Are you on TradingView? What's the name of your indicator? I don't have my own indicator. Let me adjust this. I do have a free Discord, yes. It's in my bio. I have a free version. 26. What's the best way to learn from you? I have a few $1,000s to invest. What you can do is you can click this yellow button right here. I'm hosting a free live trading workshop for anyone who has a few $1,000s liquid, or you have a 9-to-5 and or active income, and you want to have a better idea of how I trade, and you want to come to a private Zoom call with about 1,000 other traders. And then at that live workshop, I'll be opening up spots to my Discord. So yeah. Bro, a few years ago, you told us about DivCalc, the DivCalc app, but it shut down. Do you have another similar to it? I don't. Damn, that's crazy. They shut down DivCalc. Cooked. Yeah, you just click this yellow button right here. It says Service Plus if you're on TikTok. It's only saying fan club. Hold on, let me see. Let me rejoin. No, it says Service Plus for me. Yo, for those of you guys who are in here, right here, this yellow button, does it say Service Plus? It should bring up a form. If you don't see it smiley, you might have to just go to the link in my bio, because I see people filling it out right now. I don't know why it's like that for certain devices. You might be because you're on a different device. I do options trading, Hassan. I don't see the free link to your Discord on your bio. Could you show where the free link is? Yeah. So look. So this is my page right here. Right? This is my page right here. This is where you guys are. You're on the live right now, right? But this is my page. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to click the link tree that's in my bio, right? So right here, you're going to click link tree. When you click on link tree, this is where you can go to register for the live trading workshop, which is right here. Or you can join the free Discord group right here. It says free in-depth beginners trading and stocks course, right? Includes free Discord group. So you click that one right there for the free group. For the live trading workshop, you click right there. You also trade crypto? I just invest in Bitcoin. I don't trade crypto. And for those of you guys who don't want to leave the live to access to register for the live workshop, you just click the yellow button right here. If you see it, it says Service Plus. You click it, you put your information in, it'll take you to 2 other pages that will allow you to register and reserve your seat for the live trading workshop. This Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I can only seat 1,000 people again, so please. If the room gets full, it's not really much I can do at that point. Appreciate you showing me how to. No problem. No problem. Yeah, the market's pretty much chopped right now. Let's go take a look at QQQ really quick. So we ended up breaking through and completely filling the gap here. We're now at this order block here. Let's go up to the 1 hour. So we have a 3, fell 2 down, 2 down. Next levels will be back here at 590. Let me see something. Let's check SPY. Yeah, we're currently sitting at this 659 level, holding this level here. Yeah, I think we chop up the rest of the day. I don't think there's going to be any ideal trades for the day, to be honest. So look, there's going to be times where, like, not every day is a trading day, right? Like, I think because there's so many traders on TikTok, or because there's so many traders on YouTube and Instagram and things like that, or you follow a lot of traders, right? They're constantly showing you content of them trading. And I think it builds this sense of urgency to trade. And I don't think that should be the case. You know, like, honestly, I think that you should have a set criteria of why you're trading on certain days. Like, you got to know the environment, right? So let's look at this real quick, right? So I'm going to open up this browser and I'm going to show you guys this page that I think everyone should be using. So over here, let's go ahead and minimize this. Okay. So this page right here is called the Forex Factory. Whoops. Let me go ahead and adjust this. Okay. So this website right here is called the Forex Factory. And on the Forex Factory, right, this is how my filters look. So I basically remove the gray folder days. So let's actually explain all of this. Okay, let's explain all of this. So expected impact. So on the Forex Factory, there's these folders, right? There's the red, orange, yellow folder, and gray folder days. Okay, and this is the level of impact that it would affect the market. So the strongest, data that'll come out is going to be red folder. Orange folder is the second strongest, yellow folder, and then gray is not really going to do much to the market. Okay. Event types. So growth, inflation, employment, central banks, bonds, housing, consumer surveys, business surveys, speeches, miscellaneous. So I keep all these checked on. Currencies, I only keep it out on USD. Okay. The reason I only keep it on USD is because I want to know what data comes out in the US stock market that will affect the market that I trade. Okay. So when you do this, this is what this will look like. So let's go over the Forex Factory. So this is forexfactory.com. You can go, search this yourself and utilize this resource. This is a free resource. You don't have to have a subscription or anything to use this. But this is going to tell you when all the data is coming out. What do I mean by data? Okay. Well, let's say core retail sales, right? This is red folder data. This is important data to know, right? And the really cool thing is, let's say you don't know what this means. Like, it probably won't let me see. No, it's not gonna, let me see real quick. Actually, okay, here it is. So when you click on the folder itself, it'll actually open up what it is, right? So it'll say like source, what it measures, the usual effect, right? So, why traders care, it's the primary gauge of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. So like, I think because most people are just looking to trade, they don't do their due diligence, right? And I think for me, the best decision I ever made was to start off long-term investing first and putting all of my time and energy and focus into long-term investing. Yo, MJ, what's good, bro? Hope all is well, fam. So I think this gave me an unfair advantage because I was starting to already do due diligence like this, right? Like reading up on a company's balance sheets, their cash flow sheets, forcing myself to write down the definitions of all this stuff in a notebook, memorize what they are, how they affect the market. If I don't know something, I'll go, Google it or look it up, right? So doing all of this is what's going to allow you to be a more informed trader. It's not about being a trader who can just look at a chart and just take a trade. It's about being informed. It's about having high level of education around what you're going to trade. How long you been live? I just got out of a meeting. I've probably been live for about 40 minutes or so. So not too crazy long. So back to what I was saying, right? You want to be informed. So this is how you be informed. Forex Factory. You check this every single day to know what data is coming out. You know exactly what it means, right? You know what the abbreviations mean, so on and so forth, right? So this is this. So now that I know that I can use the Forex Factory, I'll look for red folder days. What do I mean by red folder days? I'll look for high impact data days, which are going to be federal funds rate, FOMC, right? FOMC press conference, and then we got unemployment claims. So these days prior to this day, which is the most important day, right? FOMC. All these days, I'm not really looking to size in as much, right? I might take a few swings, or I might, size into something anticipating what the market could potentially do, but I'm not forcing any trades. So this is what I mean by there's not a requirement to trade every single day. You want to trade the days where it's going to be the most volatile, right? Or it's going to be a clear trend. And the way you do that is by figuring out what days you have data. Does this make sense? Do you guys feel like that made sense? Like the way I just worded that, did that make sense? Let me know in the chat. Just drop a yes in the chat if so. K3, I'm back. Yo, appreciate you coming back, bro. Drop a yes in the chat if this makes sense. What's up, Victoria? Hope all is well. Happy Tuesday. Trade more or less on these days. So here's how you think of it. The very important days, you want to trade less the days before that, because the entire market is anticipating Wednesday. Like everybody's waiting for Wednesday. So the price action that you're looking for, or like how your technicals look, or waiting for certain trades to align, they're going to look completely different before that day. The day after you have FOMC, the day after you have huge data, that's the days you want to trade. Those are portfolio flipping days. Like, what do I mean by portfolio flipping days? Let's say FOMC, right? Let's say we get rate cuts and the market reacts negatively. If SPX drops, let's say 80 to 100 points in a day, or within 2 hours, 3 hours, if you catch, an 80-point move on SPX same day contracts, I mean, you could go over, that's probably, I don't even know what percentage that is, to be completely honest with y'all. But I know you could probably turn a few $1,000s into well over like $20,000, $30,000 easily. So you're waiting for days where you have high impact days. Happy Tuesday. Glad I was able to hop on. Absolutely. Happy to have you back. You love the 3-bar and IWM too? I do. My setups are moving really slow today. I'm kind of new, so today's news could be a reason for that. So the reason your trades are moving slow today, this is a perfect example, right? The reason your trades are moving slow today is because you have a high impact day tomorrow. You have a very important day tomorrow, which is interest rates, or not interest rates, Fed rates, right? You explained that perfect. Thanks. No problem. Okay, bet that makes sense. Okay, good. Glad it makes sense, Xavier. Yeah, that's the goal. I want to make sure that you guys understand this because you trade less the days before you have a very, very, very important day. My bad, y'all. My camera keeps overheating. Let's return it on. So the days before FOMC, you want to trade less. The days after FOMC, you want to look for trend moves. You might have to wait after the first 15 minutes on a Thursday, right? On Thursday, because we've got unemployment claims, right? So the first 15 minutes is going to be absolutely insane on Thursday. So you probably want to sit out and wait to see if you could catch a trend move. So the red folder days is high market. It's high volume days. Yes. My bad, y'all. My camera is just like cooked. And I have it on the charger. That's the crazy part. I wonder if it's overheating because it's on the charger. So should we trade heavy tomorrow or after tomorrow? I would wait until after Powell speaks. You can look for I would size down. If I'm planning on trading around the time that Powell speaks, I'm gonna size down to try to turn a small amount into a big amount. But Thursday, I'll look for the real move. So let's look at this, right? So here's how you read this. And let me see something real quick. Let me just check in on the Discord group. When is the power hour window open? Hold on. My bad, y'all. Let me check up on the members in the group real quick. Yeah, the volume's pretty much dying on the day, kind of how I talked about earlier. Okay, let's read this together, right? So we talk about this a lot, okay? Especially in my lives, right? So if you're new here, it's okay. You know, you're gonna just gotta keep coming back, hit the follow button, right? Before I go into this part is very, very important. Before I go into this, if you want to register for the live trading workshop, click this yellow button right here. If you are on TikTok, there's a yellow button that says Service Plus. It'll bring up a form that you could put in. Within 2 clicks of a button, you can register and save a seat for this Sunday's live trading workshop. I can only seat 1,000 people. I think right now we're sitting right under 900 registrants. So make sure you reserve your seat before it's too late. Okay. So back to what I was talking about now. All right. So a thing I always talk about in my lives, if you've been here, is key levels, right? You know, very important levels, whether they're round numbers. So round numbers like 6,600, 6,700, 500, 300, 250, things like that. They're psychological numbers, right? So excited for the workshop. Can't wait to have you. So let's take a look at this, right? So SPX, which is the S&P 500, right? Top 500 companies in the US, right? Basically, we gapped up, right? Anticipating the rate cuts. Cool. A key level, an important level to watch is 6,700, which is right here, right? This blue line right here. This is 6,700, okay? Another thing to look at. So you say you have this key level here, and then we know we gapped up. Well, you got to mark out your gap because this is where price is likely to return to because there's open space. You see all this open space here, right? It's likely to come back to this level at some point in time. I'm not saying it's going to happen now, right? But at some point in time, it's likely to come back and fill this gap, right? Another key level, right, would be 6,600, which is all the way down here, right? And then you also have 6,650. Not all gaps get filled. That's true, right? Gaps will either fill or they'll continue in a certain direction. But at some point in time, it will get filled, right? Majority of the time, even if it takes longer than normal, majority of gaps get filled unless something's just falling off of Earth, right? And it's gonna just end up being completely worthless. Okay. EYL said yesterday employment is lower than COVID, but the upper class is in a boom zone, a split economy. So how do we trade when the lower class is not doing good, but everything else is? Well, you have to look at the companies, right? So this is a great point. That's a great question. You have to look at the companies that will be positively affected by a lower performing job market, which are tech companies, SaaS. What companies are going to be affected, right? So, I think I talked about this earlier on Twitter, right? Where I chase my curiosity a lot. So I said, hey, in ChatGPT, I use ChatGPT all the time. If you guys don't use it enough, you need to, right? I'll ask it like, hey, what stocks would be massively affected if the job market continues to fall? What stocks and what sector would be affected the most, right? You got retail, right? You got mortgages. People aren't going to be able to get mortgages, right? Things like that, right? So I'm going to look up these sectors and I'm going to look at the top 5 to 10 holdings in each one of these sectors, right? So what are the top companies that are going to be affected the most if unemployment continues to skyrocket, right? Or if things skyrocket, right? What companies will have a positive reaction, right? So these are questions you got to ask yourself. So now when you ask stuff like this, right, now you're able to go and shift your money. So this is what I have a few friends who like are high level investors, right? And all they do is there's these seasons in the market, like it's called cycles, right? Where money from smart money or whales or investors, big investors, they shift their money into different sectors of the market during certain cycles, right? So if you've never heard of market cycles, right, it's something you should definitely Google. It's very important to understand. But if you understand where money is flowing throughout the year and what sectors, it'll be easy for you to kind of follow the money, if that makes sense. So this is why I trade smart money concepts. I want to know where the big investors are putting their money at, and I want to follow them, right? Because if I can trade alongside as them, if I can invest alongside them, when the market is moving, 9 times out of 10, they know a lot more stuff than we do, right? Just majority of the time. So if I can align where I'm putting my money at with them, which is order blocks, fair value gaps, looking at the flow, things like that, this will allow you to be on that same playing field almost. It's the closest you can possibly get to that playing field. So hopefully that answers that question. If you have a split economy where lower classes, if they're deleting out the middle class and the lower class is getting bigger and the upper class is getting wealthier, then where does the money go from an investor? Where do they put their money? That's the question you should ask yourself, and then go follow the tracks. Go follow and get the questions answered to get that question answered through ChatGPT, through Google articles, things like that. Does that make sense? Hopefully that made sense. You just basically ask yourself, like, where could the money shift to? Because the money's going to always be there. But where is it going to shift to? Is it going to shift into crypto? Is it going to shift into more tech? Is it going to shift into healthcare? You got to ask yourself, if the market goes into a recession, right? If the economy goes into a recession, if the economy goes into a recession, who is affected the most? Who is affected negatively the most, and who is affected positively the most? See what I'm saying? All right, does that kind of like connect the dots? I'm not seeing enough yeses, so I think I got 300 people sitting in the TikTok live, and I didn't get no yeses. But does that make sense? I just want to make sure everything is clicking. Peace King, yo, what's going on? Makes sense. Good information, bro. Great. I'm glad it's making sense. Cool. Okay, good. I just needed some confirmation. I thought I was speaking a different language. So like I always ask myself, so here's the thing. For those of you guys who don't know, I've been options trading since like 2022, but I'm not the best at it, to be completely honest with you. I'm just a really good long-term investor, right? And I shifted my focus from long-term investing because I had a longer horizon of thinking about making my money. I was like, okay, I'll just move lump sums of money, right? And I'll just trade with that. I'll buy shares. So if you guys have never heard like of swinging shares, that is how I started off. I would buy 200 to 1,000 shares of a company. So like a big trade that I had in 2023 going into 2024 was Shopify, right? Shopify, I had bought 900 shares of Shopify at I think it was $38. No, $42. And then I think it was like, it took about 7 months for it to go from $42 to, it was like 118. And my friend of mine, I'd be like texting my friends plays and stuff. Like I'd be like, hey yo bro, put your money in here. I think you could, you know, go crazy with this. And I sent it over to him and he made $67,000 from that. But that way of using your money, it requires a lot of capital, right? This is why I don't talk too much about it on stream, is because it does require a significant amount of capital. Like the least I'm going into a swing trade, like the bare minimum is 20,000, like bare minimum. And this is, I'm not using a prop firm or any of that stuff. I'm using my own capital. And I do have stop losses on those because obviously they're bigger size, right? But yeah, that is how I started off. So now when I move over into options trading, it's just shifting into a smaller time horizon now. But the hardest part is most people have this really short time horizon on when they expect success. For me, I already knew that it was going to take me months and months and months and years. I'm already prepared for the long run. But most people don't prepare themselves like that. Like you wouldn't go into a marathon thinking about the first 2 miles. You're thinking about how I'm going to make it to the end. And I think people are looking at the first 2 miles because that's where you're going to get that dopamine and you're going to get that excitement when you hit your first few trades or you make $1,000 plus or something like that. But like the goal is, how do I survive for the next 3 years trading so I can consistently make the amount of money that will actually help me in life? Does that make sense? Okay. So basically, like I said, with key levels, we have 6,700, right? So price came up. We didn't quite touch 6,700, but we do have a catalyst that could potentially push us over or send us back to another key level at 6,600. So the way that I view the market right now is we have a very important day tomorrow. This is how you correlate Forex Factory with the charts and then build a kind of a bias on, if this goes this way, here's what could happen. If this goes this way, here's what could happen. You got to have like kind of like a both. That's why I like trading the strat. It teaches you how to trade both sides. If this scenario happens and we break out higher here, this is where price can go. If we break lower, this is also where price can go. This is why I like trading the strat. It gives you both scenarios to think about. So the way I would think about this is, hey, if we have a positive, oh my God, my camera, bro. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me see if I can get my camera to start working again. So if we have catalyst tomorrow, right, and we have a positive reaction to what Powell says and the rate cuts, well, if we break above 6,700, it's likely that we could get probably another 40 to 60 point move to the upside. So that's about, I would say a target would be 67.50, right? That would be a target that I would be looking for if we get a positive reaction out of FOMC. If we do not get a positive reaction out of FOMC tomorrow, what is likely to happen is that we not only fill this gap all the way back down to 66.20, but we revisit 6,600, and then next week it's possible we could come back to 65.72, 65.51, and then previous month highs at 65.22, and then the key level at 6,500. Where am I getting these targets from? They're gaps, right? If you go up to a higher time frame, right, and you open this up, right, and let's say you go down, let's go to the 4 hour. I think this will be a little bit more clear on the 4 hour. Okay, so where am I getting these levels from? Why does it sound like he's just pulling shit out of his ass? All right, let's answer that question. The reason I'm getting the place I'm getting these levels from is from gaps. Gaps are the next likely target that I would set, especially if you're going down. So I talked about this on my last stream. The market likes to take the stairs up and the elevators back down. My heart, I see you. I appreciate you for the rose, my love. I see you. I love you forever. Like I said, the market likes to take the stairs up and the elevator back down, right? So this is the stairs up, but when we pull back, best believe we're going to have an insane day. It's going to be one of them days where you just wish you took the entry. It's going to be one of those days where you just wish you listened to your gut, you listen to your intuition. It's going to be one of those days, right? So here's what happens. You can't predict the future. You can't. But what you can do is give yourself an opportunity to know if both scenarios happen, where can price go? That's the only thing you need to know. That's all you need to know. In trading, the only thing you're looking at is where's the catalyst, and then where can price go based off what the catalyst does to the market. Big Tez in the house. What up, Yak? So, oh my God, bro, this camera is fucking pissing me off, bro. Hold on, let me try to take this out and see if it works like this. Let's see if this works. I don't think the camera is dead. I literally have just had it off this entire time. 1 second, guys. Let me try to see if I can get this fixed for y'all. Okay. Cool. Is this the strat? Yes, it is. All right, cool. So again, let's go back through it. Tomorrow, FOMC, Powell, interest rates. Got to know what that comes back as. If we get a positive reaction, the key level I'm looking at breaking is 6,700. What is likely to happen? If we get a positive reaction, we could get anywhere from a 40 to 60 point move in the market. So a target you could set would be another key level at 6,750. Boom, you will mark it out. If we get a negative reaction from FOMC, what is likely to happen is that we have these open gaps to the downside. So we could come down and fill a gap at 6,620. Then from there, if we don't hold 6,620, we can come back to 6,600. If we do not hold 6,600, if we can't defend 6,600, if we keep wicking to the upside and breaking lower and making lower highs, right? We are likely to go back and fill the gap at 6,572. Where's the gaps coming from? Right here. If we can't defend 6,572, we are likely to go lower to 6,551. Where am I getting this level? The gap. If we cannot defend 65.51, we are likely to go and see 65.22, right? Where am I getting this from? Previous month highs. It's another key level. If we cannot defend 65.22, we're likely to go back to 6,500. Now, I'm not saying all this is going to happen in a week by any means. I'm saying this is the scenario that could go on. If we can't defend 6,500, if we don't bounce or base around 6,500, the next likely place is going to be 6,438. And all of these are just support and resistance, right? They're just key levels. They're support and resistance on a higher time frame. Does that click for everybody? So this is how I'm getting these levels, right? I'm looking left, right? So there's this saying that I heard from Wall Street Trapper. Shout out to my good brother, Trap. Shout out to Trap. You can never know how the market is going to move right if you don't look left. So everything in the market is focused around what has happened in the past. So how many of you guys have ever heard of price has memory? How many of you guys heard of that? How many of you have heard of that? Price has memory. Comment me down below, or yes. So what does that mean? Price has memory. Price is likely to come back to an old level, a support level, a resistance level. Price is likely to come back there. There's no specific time frame on when it'll happen. It's just likely to happen. So it's important to understand these concepts, because I think that when you leave out so much comprehension around price, I think it makes things a little bit difficult. Sahara, what's up, Queen? How you doing? Hope all is well. Don, thank you for sharing the live, bro. Hold on, wait, let me check in on my subs real quick. DK, thank you for the sub. Antoine, thank you for the sub. Chaz, thank you for the sub. Wisdom for Life, thank you for the sub. Helena, thank you for the follow. Ian, thank you for the sub. Thank you guys. If you guys are here on YouTube, make sure you guys hit the sub. I'm good. How are you? I'm blessed. Honestly, I'm very blessed. Do y'all feel like I just dropped a little bit of game for y'all? Do y'all feel like I may have just like kind of changed the way you look at the market, maybe just a little bit, or maybe helped you kind of comprehend it a little bit better? So you're kind of wrapping the catalyst, like you're taking the catalyst, the big important moment in the market, the data that's going to happen, that's very important, red folder data from Forex Factory, and then you're aligning it with the levels. The levels you're going off first are going to be key levels and gaps. And that's like, in short, that's what all that meant, but that's just like a shorter way. So I explained it in detail, and now that's the short way of understanding it. Been out of the game for a minute now, and you're definitely bringing back the facts. I appreciate that, bro. I do futures, and what you said can definitely be applied there as well. Absolutely. It can be applied to futures. It can be applied to crypto. It can be applied to Forex. Everything has a catalyst or an event that will happen that will likely retest key levels. Align Forex Factory with gaps and trends, exactly. Or align data or articles with gaps and trends. So here's how I would use it. So Forex Factory would specifically be best for like ETFs, right? Would be best for like ETFs. If you're trading multiple tickers, right, I would look at news articles in the headlines. So like today, Coinbase, right? So Coinbase ends up selling off the news, right? So if we click right here, let's click over here. You guys aren't going to be able to see this, but look right here. Google launches AI agent-to-agent payments protocol with stablecoin support. This is with Coinbase. So this is on TradingView. You guys can click this little purple lightning bolt down here, and it'll give you some of the news articles right there on your chart. So you click here, and it'll say Google launches AI agent-to-agent payments protocol with stablecoin support. So this is an article focused around a ticker. That is important. Two companies partnered, Coinbase, Google. This is important. So what ends up happening is we get a positive reaction during pre-market, but when the market opens, we get a sell-off, a sell the news event. When we sell off, we create a reversal, right? This is called a 2-2 reversal on this strat. So we reverse back down. We come back to an old structure point, an old level of support, and then we break under. And now we're getting a retest to see if this is going to hold. That's great to know. I didn't know TradingView had that on there. Yeah, it's really dope. I don't know if you can see it on your phone though. I don't know. I think you can only see it on your computer, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong though. I have no clue. Does anybody have any questions on what I just explained? What platforms you usually use? I use Webull to trade on, and then TradingView for all my charting. You use Robinhood? Not as my primary account. I have a few Robinhood accounts though. What's the indicator called? Which one? This is called Lux Algo. You got to pay for this subscription. The one with the numbers though is called Strat Assistant. Strat Assistant. Do you recommend keeping your long-term and day trading accounts separate? Absolutely. All right, I'm about to put y'all on game, okay? I'm about to put y'all on game right now. So there's this brokerage called, well, before I put y'all on game, let me say this really quick. Strat Assistant and Lux Algo, yes, V. That's the name of both of them. Before I put y'all on this game, it's gonna completely change your investing as a whole, right? However, before I do that, if you're in this live and you're new here and you want to learn how to trade better, if you have a 9-to-5, hold on, my camera died. If you have a 9-to-5 or a few $1,000s liquid and you want to learn about the strat, smart money concepts, the indicators that I use, how I trade, I'm hosting a live private Zoom call workshop on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, this Sunday. If you want to register, if you're here on TikTok, all you have to do is click this yellow button right here. It says Service Plus. Within 2 clicks of a button, you'll put in your information. The next page, you'll put in your information again, and this will officially reserve your seat to the live trading workshop where I can only seat 1,000 people. I think we're a little under 900 registrants. So if you want to make sure that you can reserve your seat before there is no more seats to be reserved, you click this yellow button, put your information in, and you'll be able to be there. 4th day trading and just made $800 in 30 minutes. Let's go, Bree. Go crazy, Bree. Go ahead. Go crazy then. Do we need to make a Zoom to join? Nah, I'll send you like a Zoom invite so you can just join off of a guest account. I don't see the yellow button. If you don't see the yellow button right here to join the private or to sign up for the to register for the live trading workshop, if you don't see it right here, go to my link in bio and register through there. Okay? Proud of you, Bree. Keep going crazy. Keep going crazy. That bag, you know what I'm saying? The bag is there. You just got to take it. It's there for the taking. It's going to take a little bit of time to get it down now. I ain't going to lie to you. But when you get it, you never go back. That's the only thing. It takes some time to get it. But when you get it, you can never go back to how you used to be. That's the one thing I tell people about trading the strat. Once you learn how to train the strat, it's so hard to go back to trading regular because you now know what everything means. Right? Yes, this yellow button right there. If it's not right there, click the link in my bio to register. Okay? So let's go over this real quick. All right. Let's pull up the browser and let's go over to M1 Finance. So this is not financial advice by any means. This is just a platform that I personally use and I have been using since 2021. Okay. So the cool thing that I'm about to show y'all is the borrow feature. Okay. I talked about this in, when did I talk about this? I talked about this a long ass time ago, right? But let's talk about it right now. So let's bring up a story time, okay? Okay, how do I want to break this down to you guys and teach this? Okay. Let's do it. Y'all ready? Signed up, let's go. Appreciate you, bro. Can't wait to have you there. Okay, y'all ready? Drop a yes in the chat if you guys are ready. I'm about to break this down to you guys. I'm gonna break it down in the simplest way possible with a story, okay? With a story. I need more yeses than that. Come on. We got 287 people in here. If I can't get at least 50 yeses, I'm gonna just skip over the gym. And I promise you, this is not one of those ones you want me to skip over. Everything else I might have said in here might not have been as helpful. This right here, does not matter what level you're at, this will be helpful. Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about this. So let's say you came up on a lawsuit, right? Let's say you got into a car accident and you were fine. Thank God, right? Let's say you were fine. Just a few scratches, bruises, and things like that. But you end up suing the insurance company and you take, let's say you win the lawsuit and they give you $100,000. Covers all the cars and things like that. You know, you got $100,000 now, right? So this is how I'm gonna explain the story. So you have 100K. First question someone asks is, what do I do with 100K? So let's say I'm in this scenario. Let's say I got in a car accident, I sued the insurance company, they give me $100,000. I take my $100,000 and I say, you know what? The best thing for me to do with life-changing money like this for a lot of people, because $100,000 could be life-changing for some people. For me, it's not life-changing, but let's just say in this scenario it was, right? I'm gonna go invest my $100,000. I'm gonna invest into the basics, the S&P 500, maybe VOO, VTI, VGT, which is Vanguard. So if you guys don't know about these are, ETFs that you can invest in, right? It's like a basket of stocks that are owned all by one particular ticker, right? Or one particular company. You can get, a little bit of ownership in all of them, right? So let's say I go put my money there. Let's say I put 30,000 here, 30,000 here, 30,000 here, and another 10,000 over here. So I have all 100K invested through my M1 Finance. So M1 Finance is very similar to a Robinhood or to a bank account, right? However, here's something that they don't want you to know, right? Let me turn my camera back on before I get to this next point, because this is where the gems get dropped, okay? This is the thing that people don't want you to know. You can create your own self-bank. What do I mean by a self-bank? You can create a bank for yourself. You can turn yourself into a bank. What do I mean? Well, when you put your money in a bank account, they go loan it out to somebody else, right? So let's say I have $100,000 in a bank, right? Let's say Chase Bank. They're gonna go loan 99,000 out to somebody else who needs a loan for a house, for a car, whatever else they need. And they're just gonna leave your money in there as a number, as a digital number, right? They're gonna leave that in there. But in reality, they invested it out to somebody else. They're gonna go make 8 to 9% on your money. So they make money on you leaving your money in their accounts. That's how they make money. They will give you all these promos to put more money into the account so they can have more money to actually go give to other people or to loan out to other people. That's how a bank works. That's the infrastructure of a bank. Now you can turn yourself into a bank. So with M1 Finance, right, what you're now able to do is you're able to borrow against your stock account. So back to the scenario, back to our story. I put $100,000 into M1 Finance. I put it into those companies, but I don't want to sell these because I know I just invested them. So instead of me selling it, I'll borrow against the portfolio. What does that mean? I'll take a loan against my portfolio. So how does that work though? So M1 Finance will give you up to 35% of whatever you put into the brokerage. So if I put $100,000 into these stocks and it's invested on their platform, they will give me a 35% loan against the portfolio. So what does that mean? Okay, let's explain this. They will give me $35,000 with no credit check, no payoff date, right? No credit check, no payoff date, right? And the approval takes, I think, all of 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of the account, right? So how does this work though? So you borrow against your account. Let's say you pull 35,000 out, right? And let's say the market pulls back or you see a buying opportunity for another asset. This is how I would use it. So I'm going to explain this story in a way that I would use it, because I don't want y'all going out there and just going to buy dumb shit, right? What you're going to do, or what you would do, is you will borrow against your stock account. You have the 35,000. It gets delivered directly into your account, to your bank account, right? Now, the interest on it is 6.4%. What is crazy though is it shows you the rates of all the other brokerages: 11.7%, 11%, 10.95%, 10.50%. This is the interest rates for all of the other brokerages. At a bank, right? Unless you have, so think of it like this. In order to get a low interest rate or a low rate on a bank loan, you have to have amazing credit. Think about this. You pay less of a percentage in your rates than a bank and all other brokerages with no credit check, because it's based off your assets. You are the bank. So now what you're able to do is say, hey, I could take out this loan. I pay back 6.4% on my loan, right? And there's no payoff date. So what do I mean by that, right? There is no particular time frame that this has to be paid off. So if it takes you a year, if it takes you 2 years, if it takes you 10 years, right? This loan can be paid off, right? Over whatever time horizon you want to pay it off in. Are y'all tracking me? Are y'all following along? Is everything clicking right now? Is everything making sense? No credit check, but it's still lower than the interest rate you would get at a bank. Isn't that a hack? Did I not just put you on? Let me further explain though. Okay, let's further explain this. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay, so now I'm going to take this money and I'm going to say, I'm going to buy another asset. I'm going to buy something else that can make this $35,000 double or triple. Right? So now what I'm going to do, let's say Bitcoin pulls back drastically. I feel like Bitcoin is the best asset to me. So let's say Bitcoin pulls back to 80,000 and I got 35,000. I might just take the whole 35 and dump it in Bitcoin, right? I might go dump it in Bitcoin. So now what happens is what if it takes 2.5 months, 3 months for Bitcoin to come back from 80,000, but it moves to 110, right? So now we're going to pull up a calculator. Let's pull up a calculator and do the numbers. This is if you bought an asset, right? Now you could buy all types of other assets. So what you would do is you would say, let's say 110,000 divided by 80,000. Nope, not it. Let's see here. 110,000. So it's about $30,000, right? So, well, how would you do the math on this, right? So you take 30,000. We took actually 35,000, right? 35,000. What percentage of that is? Let's look it up over here. What percentage of 110,000 is 80,000? Okay, 72%. Is that right? Let's see here. 1 second, guys. Let me do the math real quick. Let me get the exact numbers for you guys. Let's get the exact numbers for you guys. And let's actually ask ChatGPT. It'll give me a quicker answer. If I take $35,000 and invest it into Bitcoin at 80,000, and then 3 months later, Bitcoin goes to 110,000. How much has my $35,000 grown in money and percent? Bam. Okay. So I'm gonna drag this over here. Okay, so here's how it would work. So let's say I put it into Bitcoin, right? My initial investment, you invest $35,000 at Bitcoin price of $80,000, right? So this is how much Bitcoin you get. Value after price increases to 110,000, right? $48,125. So your investment goes to $48,125. That's a gain of $13,127 or $125, which is 37%, right? So you made 37%, 37.5% on your money. Okay, I know I just lost hella people trying to do it in this way, but it's all good because the people who need to hear it are going to hear it, right? So you make 37%, 37.5% on your money, right? Now, here's the thing. This money that you just made is made with money that you borrowed. So the best part about the money that you took here, let's go ahead and close this back out. And let's go back to M1 Finance, right? The best part about the money that you took here is that because it's a loan, you're not getting hit on taxes from it. So this is how you're creating yourself, like you're making yourself into a bank. You are now able to take tax-free money and go make $13,125 or 37% on their money and keep all the profits without any of the risk. So what you can do is now you can take this 13,000 and now you can go pay back the loan. You can still pay off the loan monthly and take that 13,000 and go flip it again and go run it up again, right? But now what you're doing is you're enabling yourself to have the capital to be able to go invest. Okay? And somebody said, and if it goes south, then you have to prepare for the worst case scenario, right? But the thing is it's not always about looking at it from a standpoint of like, oh my God, what if it goes left? If you're buying into a great asset, which you have to do deals pull back drastically, right? And you give yourself a long enough time horizon, even if it does take 6 months, what if it takes 8 months, right? For it to come back, right? At the end of the day, you still have the ability to be able to pay down the loan, right? And you have the profits that come even if it takes 6 to 7 months. Can somebody actually, let me see something real quick. I need somebody to kick this dude out the live, bro. He's so annoying, bro. Sheesh. You would have 35K to pay off the loan and 13K at the 6.5 interest rate owed would be the profit. Exactly. Can't nothing go more south than living paycheck to paycheck. Exactly. Let me know when you want to become a mod. Victoria, I need you. I just don't know how to set a mod in here on Streamlabs. I gotta get this figured out. But yeah, M1 Finance will allow you guys to borrow against your account. This is how I personally borrowed against my account. And this is something that I do when the market pulls back. So the best time to do something like this is when the market is in a massive drawdown. So if we're hitting like major levels, right? Like if you're hitting like super lows or like extreme levels of support, this is when I start to think of doing stuff like this, because now I don't have to risk my own capital, right? I can make the payments on it monthly, and then I can use that investment to flip, right? Or to, you know, continuously evolve the money or have the money grow. Johnny, bro, please. You annoying me, bro. Chill. Like in April, exactly, like in April. So in April, we seen major drawdowns, right? that will be the opportunity to look at borrowing against your account. Waiting for it to bottom out and then looking to size in. And then this is the thing, right? Someone said, what if it goes south, right? Well, guess what? So this answers this question, right? Let's say it does go south. Let's say Bitcoin keeps falling. Because you borrowed against your stock account, let's say you can't make the payments back on the loan. They will sell your stocks. They will sell $35,000 of your stocks. So in this scenario, right? You borrowed against your stock account. You made money off of a lawsuit. You put it into a stock account. You borrowed against the stock account. You moved that money into another asset, Bitcoin or real estate or whatever it is, right? You put it into another asset. Let's say you can't make the loan. Let's say you can't make the payments. What M1 Finance will do is they'll say, hey, looks like you can't make the payments. We're going to sell some of your stocks. At whatever price the stock is at right now, we're going to sell it. So that way we can eliminate this loan, right? If you do make the payments and you pay the loan off, it is a revolvable loan, right? What does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? That means you can take this loan over and over and over and over again based off the amount of assets you have in your M1 account. So this is how you're able to maximize with investments instead of going to a bank and getting your credit hit and then having to deal with 5 to 7 business days. Then it has to get approved by the bank manager and all. Like, bro, this eliminates everything. This is all 2 clicks of a button, 3 clicks of a button. A couple hours later, boom, there goes the money right there. If it's a smart investment and you do your due diligence, which you should, right? Before you even go borrow the money, you should already know where it would go, how it would go, where the levels are at, why the levels are there, what catalysts would need to be happening to get back there, right? And if it goes south, you still should have a stop loss so you wouldn't lose it all. Exactly. There's so many scenarios of where you can protect yourself, right? You borrow against a stock account, you take the money, you put it into Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes under 80,000, right, then you might just, or under 72,000, that will be your stop loss. And then you get stopped out. You still have majority of the capital. You just got stopped out at, let's say 8%, 5%, 7% of 35,000. That might be a couple $1,000s. Cool. Move on to the next thing. Like, there's no one in life who ever told you investing was risk-free. But the problem is people don't look at the risk that they take by staying at their job every day, right? You only look at the risk when money's involved. You don't look at the risk when your time is involved, though. Isn't that crazy? People will tell me all the time about, oh my God, but what if this happens? And oh my God, what if this happens? You have put so many barriers in front of yourself before even taking the risk that you're not even going to want to take the risk because you're too pussy. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Right? But on some like real serious stuff, bro, like how do you ever expect to get where you want to get to in life without taking risks? You have to take risks with your time. You got to take risks with your money. You got to take risks with who you invest your time into, right? All of this stuff is a risk. When people get married, right, they take a risk. They don't know if this is going to be the person that they want to end up with for the rest of their life, but they take the risk because they feel like the return on it is going to be best for them. So it's like, to me, it's like people look for all these easy ways. I don't have the easy way. I don't have an easy route for you. I don't have a get rich quick scheme. I don't have some thing you could just throw your money in and then everything goes right. I don't have that. If you're looking for that answer, I don't have it. Go find it yourself. Period. But if you follow me and you're in this stream, I'm being real with you. I'm giving you information that took me years to find. And I'm not asking for anything in return, but you just do something with it. That's all I ask for. I don't want nothing from you. I just want you to do something with it. That's it. And maybe leave a follow, if that's cool, right? If I earned it. But if I didn't earn it, don't leave a follow. Don't even come back. You know what I'm saying? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Exactly. If I can't make the Sunday and I sign up, will I still have the video? Ooh, that's a great question. I actually have to go back and look. I'll let you know once my team lets me know. I gotta figure out how long we can stream and record it for. That's the thing I gotta look at. Yes. So if you guys are in here right now and you want to learn more about this stuff, you really like the way that I teach, you want to learn more about the strat and smart money concepts and gaps and key levels. And if you don't know what any of these mean, but you have a few $1,000s liquid and or you work a 9 to 5 and you have a consistent income and you want to get more into the market, you want to be more involved, and you want my assistance, I'm hosting a live trading workshop for 1,000 traders. I can only seat 1,000 because of Zoom restrictions. Unfortunately, I wish I could have more of y'all because like right now on TikTok, we have 396 people in here, but I can't seat over 1,000. So not even every person in this live will be able to get a seat. So the way to register for the live trading workshop, if you're here on TikTok, is you click this yellow button right here. It says Service Plus, right? Okay. From there, within 2 to 3 clicks of a button, you'll have your seat reserved. And then you'll be able to come to Sunday's live workshop. I'll send you the link through text message and through an email, okay? If you do not see the yellow button right here, right, and you're inside of this live on TikTok, just go to the link in my bio. If you're here and you're on YouTube, okay, then I'm going to drop the link for those of you guys who are in YouTube right now. And we'll do bada bada boom. Okay, and for my people that are here in YouTube, I just dropped that in the chat for you guys, all right? And then let me actually pull this back up. I actually lost the damn, wow, that sucks. Did I just close out the tab with the, I did, didn't I? Cooked, just cooked myself. Oh, actually, no, I didn't. Okay, here it is. All right, let me drag this back over here, go back over here, bam, put this on that monitor, bam, bam, bam. All right, cool. Got it. Yo, thank you guys for all the gifteds. Appreciate you guys. Does that put us on your email list as well? Yeah, I'll send out like, you know, free game through my email as well. $246 followers during this live. That's crazy. Can you put that money into another business? Yes. So if you look at the requirements of M1 Finance website, you can put it into a loan. I mean, not a loan. I don't know what I'm talking about. You can put it into a wedding, a business. There's no like restrictions on what you can use that money towards. I'm learning inputs and outputs. That's all this about. Talk about delta and thetas too in these cons because Oracle eating me up in up even inputs. So let's talk about contracts then. I don't have a broker, a options chain that I can pull up on here, unfortunately. Okay, so let's kind of talk about the Greeks or choosing option contracts. Okay, so for example, Zen, right? So it's likely not your Greeks. Actually, it's a combination. I think it's your expiration. If you got Oracle puts for this week, but the volume is drifting lower throughout the day, which is something you can see on Oracle right here, right? Let me make sure you guys can see this, right? So Oracle, the volume is like a staircase going down. So the volume is slowly getting lower. What's happening is the theta is so high on your contracts because they expire Friday. Today is already Tuesday, right? They expire on Friday and you probably went pretty far out the money. So what that means is basically the contracts that you bought, right? The volume and the momentum of this particular ticker isn't moving in your direction at the speed it needs to move in to overcome the theta, but to also stack the delta. So the delta is, how much you make per dollar move that, the particular ticker moves in, right? If it moves in your direction. So if you took puts, every dollar you would make X amount. Every dollar it goes in your direction. But it's also the opposite as well. If it goes back in the opposite direction, it also will, does the same thing as far as how much you lose. So Zen, you might have to look at A, getting a little bit more time, or B, going closer to the money. I still take out of the money contracts, but sometimes I'll buy time on my contracts, right? Like, so for like Palantir, let me see if I can pull it up here. So I'm in Palantir right now, right? But I have next week contracts. The reason I went next week contracts is because I know that this week is a very volatile week. So I wanted to give myself some time on the contracts, and I wanted to give myself a little bit of insurance. Like I paid a little bit more for insurance, basically. So that's what's happening when you give yourself a little bit more time, or you buy closer to the money, or you buy, 1, 2, 3 weeks out, right? On your contracts, it gives you a little bit of insurance. Yo, Killer, thank you for the sub. Biggest, thank you for the sub. Ronan, thank you for the sub. Golden, Gotten KS, I don't know how to pronounce it. Thank you for the sub. Prime, thank you for the sub. Nick, thank you for the sub. Terry, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for the subs, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You guys are phenomenal. That's what it is, since it's Oracle and the drop is dense. I did further out of the money this week expo. That's what it was. Yeah, you probably needed to go next week contracts if you're gonna go that far out the money. You using trailing stops too? Not really. I don't use trailing stops as much. What indicator is the Sadie ATR? It's called Sadie ATR levels. Sadie ATR levels. So like another thing, Zen, is Oracle has already ran 110% of its ATR. So the ATR means average true range. How much does this move on average? We've already moved a little bit more than the average that it runs on a day-to-day basis. So that means that the volume is definitely falling off a little bit here. And then it's probably gonna die out and consolidate the rest of today. How long did it take you to learn the strat? I ain't a lot. It took a little minute. I've been trading the strat since December, but it took a little minute to like really get down. Entries for the strat, it took a minute. I ain't gonna lie. Been in the trading for a year, and you dropped some knowledge I didn't know. That's what I love to see. I'm glad I'm doing due diligence. If you what are looking for tomorrow for Fed rate cuts? What am I looking for tomorrow for the Fed rate cuts? Honestly, I want to hear what Paulo says first. Honestly, I don't like coming in and being like, oh, this is what's gonna happen, and I can see the future. Like I don't know. It depends on how much he cuts rates by as well. I think that matters too. I think the market is a little toppy right now. I think we're around that time where we need to start seeing some drawback. Not need to, but we could see some drawdown. Yeah, I think the upside move is already priced in though. Like I don't think we're gonna get the insane pop that people are thinking. So going into tomorrow and taking calls soon as Powell starts speaking, probably not it. You could probably straddle tomorrow. You could probably take like Friday SPX contracts. You can straddle them, so go puts and calls and just see what happens. You could, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing that. I'm starting to learn day trading from the bottom. How much do I need to invest to begin? For the information, I pretty much post everything for free. But if you're gonna start an account, I would say start an account with bare minimum $1,000. Bare minimum. You're not gonna trade with the whole 1,000, but that's a good amount to start an account with, so you get the basics. Do you trade the VIX? No, I don't trade the VIX, but I watch the VIX. Like I chart it out and I see what it's doing during intraday. All right, y'all. I'm actually at the 2-hour mark almost on this live, or hour and a half mark. But I greatly appreciate everybody pulling up today. I'm gonna come back live tonight and do a little bit more teaching. So with that being said, I greatly appreciate all of you. If you haven't already, go click the link in my bio and register for your free seat at the live trading workshop this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I would love to see you there. Again, I can only seat 1,000 people, so make sure you guys hurry up and go grab your seat right now before it's too late. Other than that, I'll be back on here later tonight. Are you live trading later this week? I'm gonna do a watch party in my Discord tomorrow. But as far as live trading, I might live trade Thursday or Friday. We'll see. All right. I love you guys dearly. I'm gonna hop off here. Go click the link in my bio to join the free Discord, or you can just sign up for the live trading workshop. But other than that, I'm closing green on the day. Well, another day green, obviously. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love you guys.